Alright, this is Andrew with Joda Home Inspections. We're doing a sewer scope today here in Sandy. Today is July 23rd, 2024, and we're at 8293 South, 1390 East. We have the camera pushed out 102 feet to the city connection. Now I'm going to pull it back and record it to see what we find. So just over 100 feet, which is pretty average for what I see. This first connection is called the nose on. That's where it goes from your lateral line into the main city line. Looks decent, little tiny offset, but it's on the top of the pipe where you can kind of see the lip. We're going to see more of them, and so I'm not going to focus on that one, but you don't want to have a lot of big offsets where waste can get stuck, where that could create a blockage on the line, in the line rather. This looks like transite pipe. It does look like you have good grade. There's an offset there, a little baby one. Yeah, this does look like transite pipe, which is a cement asbestos pipe, from what I can tell so far. Those don't look like clay joints to me. Not seeing any standing water, which is great. That's one of the most important aspects of the line, is that you have good grade. Offset there. Again, on the top, which is always better, but never ideal. Some roots coming in here. Those are small ones, but they will get bigger. Once you have roots, you're always going to have roots. And so that's something you want to maintain in the future, having them cleaned out so they don't get big enough to create a blockage. That looks like a sewer access point, so a lot of times they're buried. We'll look at this last joint. When I pushed the camera through, I thought I saw what looked like a crack on a joint. Now I'm not seeing it, and so it might have just been a root laying in just the right spot that made it look like a crack. I thought it was the top of the pipe right there, but that looks like just a root. That joint looks good too. It was right around 70 feet. So I think you're good. Basically, a fair amount of just minor offsets and minor roots. A little bit of standing water here where it's a little bit flat, so not ideal, but far from the worst that I've seen. Bear with me while I adjust. This roof is very hot. I am doing the scope through the roof stack. There was a clean out down in the mechanical room, but it looked like an old brass cap, which those are usually seized up. There's a good size offset there, so this pipe has moved a fair amount. Looking down the line, you can see how there's a big lip on the left side. There's waste standing kind of stuck in the line before it. So you could consider having a spot repair done on that one. We just transitioned to cast iron, which means that this is likely right around the foundation point. And so when you transition from cast to clay or transite, that's usually the point where it's going through the foundation or right near it. So I would imagine it's either just inside or just outside the house. Tough to tell what this is. There's a lot of buildup, but probably cast iron. based on how rough it is. I'd recommend having this cleaned out now. There's different ways to clean it, but I would not cable it. Cabling is good for if you have a blockage that you need to bust through and relieve all the waste and water, but here I'd recommend probably coating it if it's cast. That's where they use a chain cutter, and that'll take a thin layer off the cast iron and make it nice and smooth again. And then you want to have this line reevaluated because there's so much that we can't see. Alright, now we're coming back up the roof stack. I would recommend getting the insurance on this line. That would help offset the cost if and when there is a bigger issue. And then having it maintained now. Having the little roots cleaned, having the cast iron cleaned, considering a spot repair on that offset. I'm going to end this recording now.